Somewhere in your browser, there is a small padlock. It is there when you log in, when you pay for something, when you send a private message. Behind that padlock is a piece of mathematics that has quietly protected almost everything you do online for decades. There is a plan to break it. And here is the part that surprises people. The most damaging part of that attack does not require a quantum computer to exist. It is happening right now, today, while the machines are still being built. To see why, you need to know what the lock actually is. Modern encryption rests on a beautiful trick. You find a mathematical operation that is easy to do in one direction and brutally hard to reverse. Take two enormous prime numbers and multiply them together. That takes a computer no time at all. Now, hand somebody only the answer and ask them which two numbers you started with. That is the hard direction. For numbers of the size used in real encryption, every ordinary computer on Earth working together for longer than the universe has existed would not finish the job. That gap is the whole lock. Easy forwards, impossible backwards. It's like mixing two tins of paint. Stirring them together takes a second. Separating them again afterwards is a nightmare. Encryption hands the world the mixed paint and keeps the original colors secret. Now, pause the video, because if you watch the first episode, you can work out what is coming. We said a quantum computer is not a machine that tries every answer. It wins by arranging interference so wrong answers cancel out. And we said that only works when the problem has structure, some hidden pattern to line the possibilities up against. So here is the question. Why would this particular lock, out of all the problems in the world, be the one that is vulnerable? Because factoring, it turns out, hides a rhythm. If you take the number you are trying to crack and repeatedly apply a certain simple operation, the results begin to repeat in a cycle, over and over at a regular interval. And buried in the length of that cycle is the answer you are looking for. So the problem is no longer find the hidden numbers. It is find the length of the repeat, exactly what interference is good at. This is the choreography from episode 1, aimed at one specific target. You set the machine up so that every wrong guess about the length of that cycle cancels itself out, and only the correct rhythm survives to be measured. It is not brute force. Nobody's trying every possible key. The machine is tuned, so the answer is the last thing standing. That method has been known since the 1990s. What has never existed is a machine big enough and stable enough to run it on a real key. So the obvious question is, when? And the honest answer is that nobody knows. Most serious estimates land somewhere in the next decade or so, but those estimates keep moving, and they move in both directions. The machines get better, and the algorithms for attacking encryption also get more efficient, which lowers the size of machine you would need. Anyone who gives you a confident date is guessing, which sounds like a reason to relax. It is not, and this is where the story turns. Here is the attack that does not need the machine. It is called Harvest Now, Decrypt Later. An attacker cannot read your encrypted traffic today. So instead, they simply copy it and keep it. Storage is cheap. They record the scrambled data now, park it on a disk, and wait. Years later, when a capable machine finally exists, they open every box at once. The theft already happened. The unlocking is just scheduled for later. So the real question is not, when will encryption break? The real question is far more personal. How long does your data need to stay secret? If it is a message about lunch, you genuinely do not care. But medical records, legal files, government secrets, financial history, engineering designs, source code, anything that must stay private for 10 or 20 or 30 years is exposed the moment it is captured, not the moment the machine is switched on. For that kind of information, the deadline is not in the future, It has already passed. So, which is why the fix is already being built, and it is not a quantum machine. If the weakness is that factoring hides a rhythm, then the answer is to build locks out of mathematics that has no rhythm to find. Problems where the possibilities form a shapeless mess with no hidden pattern for interference to grab hold of. Remember, a quantum computer is only dangerous where structure exists. Take the structure away, and its great advantage evaporates. That family of new locks is called post-quantum cryptography, and after years of public competition, the first standard versions were finalized in 2024. They run on the ordinary computers you already own. There is nothing quantum about them at all. Now, how do you swap the locks on the entire internet without breaking it? Carefully, and mostly by wearing both at once. The common approach right now is called hybrid. Every connection is protected by the old encryption and the new encryption together, so an attacker has to defeat both. If the new mathematics turns out to have a flaw nobody has spotted yet, the old lock is still there. And if a quantum machine arrives, the new lock still holds. It is already happening around you. Quietly. Major browsers have shipped it. Apple added it to its messaging. One large network provider reported that by late 2025, the majority of ordinary human web traffic crossing its network was already protected this way. There is a good chance you have used post-quantum encryption today without noticing, which is exactly how a well-run migration should feel. It is not free, though, and the honest problems are worth naming. The new keys are bigger, so there's more data to shove down every connection. The new mathematics is younger and has had far less time to be attacked by clever people, which is precisely why the hybrid approach exists. And the hardest part is not the mathematics at all. It is the inventory. Encryption is buried in everything. Old servers, payment terminals, cars, medical devices, firmware nobody has touched in a decade. Finding every place it hides is a years-long engineering project, and that is the real work. So here's the big picture. Modern encryption relies on a sum that is easy one way and impossible in reverse. Factoring conceals a repeating rhythm, and interference is exactly the tool for finding a hidden rhythm, which is why this particular lock is the vulnerable one. No machine can do it today, and honest estimates disagree by years. But harvest now, decrypt later means data stolen this morning can be opened whenever that machine finally arrives, so the true deadline depends on how long your secrets must keep. The replacement locks already exist. They run on normal computers, and the switch is quietly underway. Which leaves one last thought worth sitting with. The lock has not been broken. Nobody has read anything they should not have. And yet, the locksmiths have already redesigned the lock. Standards bodies have already published the plans, and somewhere out there people are already collecting boxes they cannot open yet. That is a genuinely strange situation to be in, and it's one of the few places where a technology changed how the world behaves years before the technology actually worked.